Hey everyone, it's Anna Wheaton here from Nudge Nudge Ink. I'm popping on to show you a really cool tutorial and a really good way to use up your designer series paper. We're using the Flowering Zinnias paper, which is a beautiful combination of colours. This is part of our online exclusives. One of the things that people often say to me is that they have so much designer series paper or pattern paper that they can't use it up. So this is one way of doing so. The cards are based on a tutorial by a lady called Crafty A. She's an American lady who puts out a tutorial once a month, which is called Sheet Load of Cards, and I will link to her in the description below. But each month, what it aims to do is design a whole bunch of cards that use up the full sheet of designer series paper, whether it be 12 by 12 or 6 by 6. I started off copying this one and then I ended up modifying it because she does it in inches. Best way to use the 12 by 12. However, what I ended up doing was changing it a bit to be the best way to use up our A4 for the card bases. So this is what I did. Firstly, to make the mini card bases, I took a piece of A4 and I'm going to cut that in half. So that is at 14.9. If you cut in half there, you're going to end up with 2 even pieces. And we're going to then rotate that 90 degrees. And this time we're going to cut at 15, okay? We're just going to forget about the 0.9. Cut that at 15, slide that along, and then score it at 7.5. Okay, we're working in centimeters. 7.5. Okay, so what you've ended up is dividing the 15 in half, and this is your 14.9. So your card front is 7.5 by 14.9. I'll just do that again. So there's my piece cut at 14.9. Rotate that to 15. And then 7.5 for the scoring. Okay, so you'll end up with these mini card bases. So I've done some in Old Olive and I've done some in Pumpkin Pie. I'm just ready for anything. And a few more. Okay, now I'll put those aside. These pieces here that I've cut off, I will be using, so we don't want to get rid of those. Okay, so remember this was 14.9, we're going to treat it as 15. So we're going to cut a piece of designer series paper that is 0.5 centimetre narrower and shorter than this. So that means it's going to be 7 centimetres by 14.5. And I want to use this piece. This piece. 14.5 by 7. I'll cut 2 of those. And then I've also cut some from this piece as well. Okay, so with your 14.5 piece by 7, we're going to cut a square off one end. 7 centimetres, so that's 7 by 7. And then off the other end, just randomly, I chose this measurement, 3. So you see out this way, I'm measuring the 3 over here. Okay, then I'm going to flip this piece. And then I can stack them up. So Ali does a beautiful job of this also. I have to really concentrate as to where I'm putting my pieces. So 7 by 7, and then I'm going to cut a 3 off. Flip this one and put them together. 7 by 7. You could cut your 3 this way if you wanted to. The main thing is you're chopping 3 centimeters off it, which leaves a piece that is 4.5. Flipping that, there's that purple that we love. By we, I mean you have to, because I do. 7, and cutting off the 3. And flipping. Okay. Now, if you did this with a whole bunch of your DSP pieces, you may even swap them round. You know, you might decide that you want to have that in the middle of that instead of the purple. I'll just show you I need to replace my blade. It's just, I don't know if you can see that. It's just tearing that a little bit. That's usually a sign that a nice new blade is required. Okay, now this piece, remember this is 4.5. This is going to go in the middle of the card. So that's this piece, and we've got a contrasting piece here that it sits on. Okay, so if this is 4.5 wide, the contrasting piece has to be 5 centimeters wide. I'm just deciding, I'm going to go for some old olive. Now, Ali is far more efficient in her use of the cardstock. I'm just chopping into the colours that I want. Now, that is going to go behind that, okay? So I'll add that to the pile. So I've got my 7x7, I've got my middle piece that's flipped, and then I've got my 3 centimeter piece. So the panel that goes on is 5x7. 5x7. I'm just playing around a bit. Do a purple one, and I'll get one more. I might do an orange. 5x7. Okay, let me move that out of the way and show you what I've got. So I have some piles here that are going to be on my card fronts. So my next step is to find my seal, and I'm going to attach the fat flipped piece onto the cardstock piece. Like so. Actually, I'll show you a clever tip that Ali shared. Yeah, that's definitely a bit rough. Ali suggested that when you have to line these up, okay, you want that end to match, to line up exactly. So she suggested you do this. Add your adhesive. Grab something with an edge, like a trimmer or a scoreboard. Sit your base piece there, so it's butting up against that, or it could butt up against there if you work sideways. And then butt this up against there as well. Ta-da! That one goes there. 1, 2. Now, I like that technique. I'm going to just go without it though, so that I don't have to move the trimmer in and out. And I've got a fairly straight eye, I think. I've now got, if you've ever tuned into my Facebook Lives or videos, I sometimes have magpies. And I have chosen to do this right at there. Oh, what have I done here? That's too long. This has to be 7. Can't talk and work at the same time, clearly. Use Ali's technique. There we go. All right, so I've got 4 piles for 4 cards. One, two, three, 4. Okay, now we can put them together. So you choose your card base and you're going to work. There's a little bit of roughness there because of my blade, so I can sometimes, you can just rub your fingers along there and that often will get rid of some fluff. Okay, this is 7 by 7, so that's easy. Doesn't matter which way we do it, it'll work. And then other end is our 3 centimeter piece. And then in the middle is going to be our contrasting piece that's on the panel. Now, this is where you've got a choice. I'm going to sit this one up. Because it's the same colour as the card base, I'm going to pop it up on dimensionals. Why are you filming a video when you should be feeding magpies, they're saying. I don't know whether that sound shows up or not. Oop, oop, oop. Okay, and then I can just put that on there and it'll sit up slightly. This one I'll put on pumpkin pie. Now remember, you can also flip the whole design, so I could have decided to use that side for the main pieces if I wanted to. One, two. Now this one is contrasting. Okay, so I'm quite happy. I'm just going to glue that flat. Do you see I've unintentionally themed my dimensionals today. They match. I'm going to go for another purple here. Highland Heather. So that's the square. This is the other end. This is the middle panel. Just going for flat with that one. So 1, 2, 3. And I'll go an old olive. One of my favourite ever colour combinations. And they use it for Halloween sometimes, is old olive, pumpkin pie, and rich raspberry, which has retired. So it's nice to see another purple in the mix here. Let's do this one on dimensionals. Now, the next step, you can get as fancy as you like with what you add to these, but I'll stay true to Ellie's beautiful tutorial. She does just a simple sentiment panel. Okay, so you've got the zinnias, well, you don't have the zinnia suite, you want the zinnia suite. You could add one of the die cut flowers if you wanted to. That would I ruined that because I scored it first. It's not often I score when I mean to cut. Usually it's the other way around. I just chop the piece of paper off. So I'm going to cut some little strips, 6 centimeters by 2 centimeters. 2 orange, and let's go the Highland Heather. 2 centimeters by 6 centimeters. 2 by 6. And from that zinnia set, I'm going to use this thank you so much, because you can never have too many thank you cards, okay? Obviously, if I wanted that, I could just cut a strip that's longer. That won't fit on what I've done though. 4 panels. Thank you so much. This is a beautiful, beautiful font on that so much. I just love it. Thank you so much. I did well aligning those up. And then we're going to just see how the stamp is on an angle, like thank you, and then the inset of so much. We can just do this. No mucking around. And then we're going to add our dimensionals, our color coordinated dimensionals. If you've not seen my videos before, I've explained many times that when I get a sheet of dimensionals, I immediately color it with a highlighter. It dries pretty quickly, because when you're working on your projects and you peel off that backing, sometimes it's hard to know what you've peeled off and what you haven't. So this is a way of making it very obvious. Now, Ali also lined all hers up, and I'll just stay true to her design, with that edge there. Okay, so edge of the cardstock panel, and also your edge of your sentiment. These would be lovely, just done up with a ribbon to give to someone as a gift. There we go. Okay, and last but not least, we have the gems from the Zinnia suite and our Take Your Pick tool. This was a popular item at the Craft Alive show that we did. We sold a few of them. Can't sell them on the spot. We can't cash and carry because of Stampin' Up's policy against cash and carry, but we did have people order them. Just one of those adhesive back sequins. Okay, so we've got, I will probably go back and add maybe some DSP inside there as well. So there you go, some different colour combinations, but you get the idea. Magpies have flown off. There you go. 8 cards, pretty quick to make. So that is an idea to use up your designer series paper. That would technically be a whole sheet gone. Okay, thank you very much. Check the description. If you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up, please. And also feel free to comment or ask questions. And you're welcome to subscribe. Thank you, everyone. Goodbye.